James Hartwell, 53, died of cancer 3 months before the start of our story. He left behind a fortune estimated at several $1,000,000, a sprawling estate on the outskirts of Millbrook, and a widow half his age, Sarah Mitchell Hartwell. Now, if you've ever read a romance novel or watched a romantic movie, then you probably saw the first problem here. That's right, age gap. Now, back in 2005 when James and Sarah met, Sarah was an 18-year-old high school grad and James was a 41-year-old widower. By the time they got married 8 years later, they were crazy in love and nothing was going to stand in their way. Even James's family, despite their disapproval, eventually accepted Sarah, which is why it came as a shock when James died, and they contested the will, leaving Sarah with nothing but memories and a mountain of debt. Welcome to the Family Feud, a series where the central conflict is always the same. A widow has battled to retain her late husband, his wealth against his blood relatives who believe that money earned by blood should stay in the family. But there are many ways to skin a cat, so to speak, and each iteration of this trope features unique characters and conflicts to keep you on the edge of your seat. In this episode, we have Sarah Mitchell Hartwell, a 38-year-old woman mourning the loss of her husband and struggling to hold on to their shared home in the face of opposition from his estranged family. On one side is Sarah, a young woman whose only hope for financial security lies in holding on to her late husband, his inheritance. On the other side is Margaret Hartwell, James's older sister and the de facto leader of the Hartwell clan. Margaret believes that Sarah is after their family's money and is determined to do whatever it takes to protect her brother's legacy. Caught in the middle are James's other siblings, Robert and David, who support Margaret's efforts to contest the will. As the story opens, Sarah has just received a visit from Margaret and her entourage, and they've come bearing bad news. They want to contest the will and take away everything that James left to Sarah, including the house they shared. With her husband recently dead and her in-laws breathing down her neck, Sarah finds herself in a precarious position. She knows that she's not part of the Hartwell family, but she's also not sure how she's going to survive without the financial support that comes with being a member in good standing. With the opening scene set, let's move on to the characters. First up, we have Sarah Mitchell Hartwell, a 38-year-old woman who's recently lost her husband and is now being targeted by his family. Sarah is a kind and compassionate person who's always willing to help others, even when she's not sure that she can afford to. She's also fiercely independent and determined to make the best of a bad situation. Next, we have Margaret Hartwell, James's older sister and the primary antagonist of our story. Margaret is a cold and calculating person who believes that Sarah is only interested in their family's money. She's also deeply protective of her brother's legacy and will stop at nothing to preserve it. Finally, we have James Hartwell, the 53-year-old love interest who died of cancer 3 months before the story begins. James is remembered as a kind and generous person who was loved by everyone in the community. His death leaves a void in the hearts of those around him, and his widow is determined to honor his memory by holding on to the things that he left behind. And that's a wrap for the characters. In the next episode, we'll explore the history of the Hartwell family and how it led to this moment of crisis. We'll also see how Sarah deals with the news that her husband's family wants to take everything from her. Don't miss it.